Okay, welcome back to my channel, Savvy Quirk Tarot, and this is your air signs reading with pick a card. And this is a charm setting here instead of rocks. So we have right over here Gemini with the ring for Gemini. And then in the middle here, pile 2, is Aquarius. You see here? And I wish I could just pick this up with my little wand here, but I can't. And the third one is Libra. Right over here. Okay, so I will link all of that in the description below for the timestamps for each pile. Again, first pile is Gemini, second pile Aquarius, and third pile is Libra. Feel free to meditate on which pile you would like. If you're a cross watcher, if you have Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or Mars, North Node, South Node, go ahead and pause and let's begin. Okay, welcome back. Group 1, you are pile 1 and you are Gemini. So if you chose this pile, the charm that you chose. It's one of those zodiac rings I got a while back. They're good for charms. So the first card you have is from Messages from Your Animal Spirit Guides tarot deck. So this is from a while back, but works great. So you have the mouse. You're overlooking some important details, so pay closer attention to what's going on. And your Wisdom of Oracle card is Gang. Set that over here. Okay. And you picked the Everyday Tarot card, Brigitte Esselmont or Biddy Esselmont. So your first card is your current present is the Magician. Very good, Gemini. And the second card in your recent past was the Star. And your third card in the near future is the King of Swords reverse. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first card in your current present is the Magician. So as far as your career or finances go, it looks like the Magician is a potential opportunity. It looks like there might be some sort of talent that you have, whether it would be with analysis, or I'm seeing someone who works really well with data analysis. So perhaps you have showcased this in a form of being promoted or taking on new responsibilities in your job. As a personal relationship card, for those of you with partners, there might be a great opportunity to meet someone new. And basically, if you are with someone and you're having difficulties at this time, it may be a time to sit down and have good talk. The Magician would help you, organize your thoughts and really heal the situation. Second card in the recent past is the Star. Both in the upright, 2 major arcana cards here, the Star and the Magician. You're moving from your current present to recent past to current present, basically, is the Star to the Magician. It symbolizes hope, basically. It's drawn because you are spiritually led to another level of your life, and also it indicates balancing energies and recovering from past hurts. And with respects to your finance or careers, an opportunity to move on to another position or a different opportunity in financial matters. And if you have some tax issues, possibly get some help and additional insight into your finances. Perhaps talk to someone who has invested in something. With personal relationships, the Star into the Magician, recent past to your present. There may be some sort of issue you want to start to mend or come to terms with in your relationships. So if you are also single, you will be able to find someone in a new setting or environment. And if this is a health-related issue, you could also mentally and physically start healing again. As with the Magician, these two are both healing cards in the major arcana, and it symbolizes basically hope and healing here. So great start. And with your current future or near future here in the King of Swords reverse, it's not necessarily a detriment, because the king in the court card is kind of the master of his craft. So with the king reverse in swords, it could just be that since he is an intellectual, he's good at abstract thinking, and his intelligence is respected by others. There might be an instance here where you might not be as compassionate to others' faults. So you're a bit more dismissive of that. And although it is in reverse, you're amazing and master of analysis. So it is clear that with the star to the Magician, you have already worked on yourself a lot, perhaps indicating that you do need some sort of a compassion element to your dealings with others. You do need to bring everyone to your level as well. So it is a sense of being more flexible and less rigid in your thinking, because you're very intellectual here, Gemini, and with a lot of Geminis, they tend to be very rational, and they have two sides of their personalities, and keeping that in check, you need to balance the emotional with the intellectual. And sometimes you're probably 80% intellectual and only 20% emotional. So you basically have to keep that in mind when you're dealing with others, and not say anything that, you know, might hurt someone's feelings, whether intentional or not. King of Swords is very as same as Queen or any court card of Swords. They get to the point with their speech, and they tend to be blunt in matters. Dealing with personal issues, you might not be as well versed as, say, a water or an earth sign that has a little bit more, they can pick up on more subtle messages from people, and subtle cues and body language. So you might not just be dealing with a coworker or a personality, or your family member, or maybe a partner, a marriage partner. And you're great at planning, basically planning out days and having schedules, and when to travel and when to go and see family. The star and the Magician here, it helps you balance out some of these qualities that you may be lacking, but you seem to see it in other people, and you have an admiration for people who are possibly the star and the Magician are people in your lives that could be you see a partner as a star, and or you see someone in your authority figure, so an authority figure like a parent or boss as the Magician. So this is definitely, there's different ways to look at it here, Gemini. So with your mouse card here, with the animal spirit card, it says you're overlooking some important details. So pay closer attention to what's going on. So this basically says that, yes, it means you have to pay attention to people's feelings and take into consideration others when you're talking to them. So if you can't sense what they're feeling or what they're trying to insinuate, you need to be clear and ask them, because King of Swords is great at communications, but you just need to pick up on more cues. And if you can't do that, you need to just point blank ask them. And with the Yang here, this is a great card. It is the first card of the wisdom of the Oracle divination cards. The Oracle's message is Yang represents the power of action and energies that propel the world forward and manifesting thought and desire into concrete form. Now is the perfect time to act, for you can easily build momentum and make headway. What you want will come to fruition if you proceed confidently. This card signifies new life and is a sure sign that obstacles have been overcome. There's no reason to hesitate. In terms of your relationship, the Yang card represents a supporting action on your part. You can make the first move if you are someone who is looking for a future partner. Seems like you do have the cards on your side, so to say. Just making a pun out there. Trust that you will quickly know where you stand in matters of the heart. There's movement towards your highest good. Okay, so that really indicates the star and the Magician. Perhaps you have hope that you are walking towards this person and they will receive you the way you are. And even with your insecurities about being, too rational and more analytical. You might be a little bit emotionally shy to let go of your emotions and show people what you're thinking that way. So passion is in the air. Now is the time to dance to the tune of Love, Take the Lead. So you have no problem doing that, but you are looking to, even with the mouse here, you are a little timid here with your emotions. So you have to kind of go big or go home kind of vibe here. And with your prosperity, basically with just advice and guidance, your projects or partnerships, all matters relating to your business are out of the obstacle phase, and it's time to make it happen. So this is you're in the make it happen phase, and you can manifest anything with the Magician here and the Star here. Projects are gaining momentum, and basically you have abundance. But you do have to protect against overconfidence or aggressive behavior, because what are you chasing after? You have to ask yourself. The appearance of the card isn't cause for fear. Life is about learning lessons. Practice temperaments, diplomacy, and thoughtful consideration before making a move. So Gemini, you do have the power to change a lot of things that can go your way, because you have a duality that you can tap into, and this duality will help you kind of suss out any important situation you might be contended with and confronted with. So you really do need to kind of balance the rational with your emotional and inner desires and look within. Definitely get anything you want out of a relationship or a job opportunity. You just need to make a promise to yourself to keep your emotions in check. Okay, and we're going to go on to the second pile. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the end, and we'll pull some messages of love cards, and that will also include your group in group 1. So welcome back. Hi, part 2 or group 2. You chose a pile with the Aquarius ring on top. Sorry, it's hard to see this, but it doesn't have the double water squiggle, but you can kind of see it anyway. And that is our second pile. So hopefully if you're watching more than one, that's fine too. Your animal spirit message is the elk. It says, stand tall and maintain your dignity no matter what, and others will treat you with the respect that you deserve. So I'm sensing immediately there's some sort of either crisis of confidence or some sort of issue that, it's not making you physically stand out and hold your shoulders back and your head high. So there might be some sort of discouragement in the past. And your Wisdom of Oracle card is community. This is a gorgeous card. You see the giraffe and the baby giraffe with the mother giraffe. So it is about a sense of building community. And we'll see how that fits into the picture here. And if you chose this deck, you are in the Elemental Tarot or the Elemental Power Tarot. So your first card is the Page of Cups upright. Your second card is the Two of Wands upright. And your third card is the Moon. What I really love about the Elemental Power Tarot deck is the way the illustrations on the Major Arcana, the Major Arcana cards are gorgeous. They're kind of in the same vein as the Wild Unknown Tarot deck as well, which I might consider acquiring soon. So with this spread here, this is your current present with Page of Cups. The page itself is more of a novice in the sense that it's a type of renewal of a new cycle of emotions. So you may be trying to regain that youthful sense or a more pure sense of your emotions at this time. And it could be from a possible setback, whether personal or job related, in the recent past. And in the recent past, this current, present, recent past is a Two of Wands. I like to go from current, present to recent past, but some readers go from this, just 1, 2, 3, and in left to right. But I like to talk about the present and, kind of emphasize being in the present mind as well. With the Two of Wands here, there is definitely a beginning of some sort. And there's also symbolism of duality. So what I see for you, Aquarius, is there's some sort of a isolation period you have come out of with both the Wands and the Cups here. And you being an air sign, you already fulfill that intellectual part of the puzzle. But with emotions here, you're still very cautious. It's not saying that Aquarians or air signs in general are less emotional, because they can be. It just depends on what other positions or placements you have. Whether you have a moon in Cancer or something, that can indicate someone who's still very in touch and mature with feelings. But with Two of Wands here, you are having a sense of there's a spectrum of your actions in relation to your feelings and thoughts. So there's kind of a dichotomy or some sort of balance you need to maintain within this Two of Wands here. That is indicating that you are trying to balance that out at this time. And it also for some of you, I sense there's a need to ground yourself in some ways. Perhaps you've been too much in your head or in your feelings lately, that you need to put things more in action. So this is Two of Wands is taking more action, and you're beginning to do that and kind of break through that wall of isolation. So I see some of you possibly were working a lot, or either doing that or spending a lot of time on a pursuit, and you've lost kind of touch with yourselves emotionally and your inner self, so you're kind of retreating. There is a downside to that, and the caveat of retreating, can't talk right now, is the fact that you are less likely to go out into community here, or to commune with others. And even with the state of the world, there's many ways to commune with others, whether it's forming an online community or speaking to your friends and on the phone, or there's multiple ways to stay in touch at this time in our age right now. So you might have turned off your phone or turned off your social media alerts just to kind of go within yourself more here, which really taps into the third card, which is the Moon. And really in this spread, the advice is to get in touch with your intuition. And there's a cautionary side to the Moon here. It's not always on the positive. There could be some sort of confusion involved as well. At this time, you might be confused about some of the emotions that you're feeling and trying to analyze them. I know myself as an Aquarian moon, people are usually more with moon signs in air signs. They're semi-detached, but in a sense, they're always very self-aware of their emotions, and they kind of overanalyze their emotions when they're feeling something instead of just feeling it on their own, as opposed to someone with moon in a water sign. So there's a strength in that, which is you can step outside yourself and observe, but also the downside is you tend to get confused by the emotions you're feeling at the time. So with community here, how this fits in the whole picture is you are searching for a way to kind of get out of the bubble you're in right now. And whether it's kind of turning back those social media alerts, or reaching out, just physically going out and seeing people that you know, or communing with family members. And this actually will bring you a sense of balance and then kind of return you to kind of the Page of Cups here. Also, a solitary activity you do yourself, whether it's meditating or pursuing some sort of hobby that you've always wanted to do, some sort of creation that will contribute to the community you're in. So if you're in an artistic community, you might be painting or doing graphic design or something that helps out. Even in the sense of activism, Aquarians are very fixed in their belief system. So if there's a cause or a social injustice issue that you're passionate about, this will be your key to opening up your emotions again and balancing them out with your thoughts and actions, because community is a very strong kind of cornerstone of your life, and it can be if it's not already. And with the Elk here, it is reminding you to stand tall and be proud, but this is not in the sense of where it's Leo. It's not an over prideful thing. It's more of a maintaining your dignity, and kind of there's a grace in the physical manner of how you carry yourself. So this is possibly indicating that you are in need of more confidence in your feeling towards others. You're kind of getting back into the gear of more interpersonal relationships. I don't see this much as a personal one-to-one. I think this is still in the realm of a community, because Aquarians, they naturally kind of gravitate towards a group situation, and they're kind of at most comfortable in their comfort zone in this kind of community range or setting. But doesn't mean that they can't maintain personal relationships. It's just they are more they gravitate more to a community and having that sense of being part of something and contributing to it. So these are good cards here, and stay tuned for your messages of love, Aquarians, and hope this was helpful. So welcome back, group 3. If you chose pile 3, this is a Libra. I like this charm for a Libra. It looks exactly like the scales here. Okay, so your spirit animal is Pueo, or the Hawaiian owl. Your ancestral spirit guides are offering guidance now, so pay close attention to the signs and omens from them. So I love this deck. This is kind of an old deck, but it's also a very helpful one. This is possibly asking you to commune with your ancestral spirits and guides, and also possibly getting back together with a family member you haven't seen for a while, or visiting grandparents. So your wisdom oracle card is chaos and conflict here. So this Librans, they always find some sort of chaos or conflict they need to be diplomatic about, and kind of your instinct takes over and it kicks in and it wants to balance everything out. So you have a tendency to see things in either chaos or conflict here. But let's see what the spread says here. And if you chose the Tarotorial deck, and which I've been using sometimes in other, if you saw the Sagittarius reading, that's what I used. It's actually very good to kind of get back to the basics of tarot, and it's also very good for astrology because it shows all the elements and what they're associated with. And I kind of like this. It was a recent acquirement, the recent purchase I made from Raven Rogue here. So it's the OakGroveMerc, or Merc. And her name is Pamela. You can find her on Etsy, and I will link that in the description below. So your first card in the current present is the Six of Swords in the upright. Your second card is the Wheel of Fortune in the upright. And your third card is the Ace of Swords upright. Okay, so you have 6 and Ace of Swords. So you're definitely in your own element with Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius being represented in both in swords here in the Minor Arcana. So there's definitely a lot of issues being kind of hashed out in your head right now. So this is a very rational thinker, and this could lend itself to the chaos and conflict guidance here, where there's a lot of either unbalanced decisions that are being made on your behalf, or there's things that you can't change beyond your control. I'm seeing that the Wheel of Fortune has given you a chance to kind of change your path in life right now. And whether this is some sort of a personal fallout with a friend or a partner, and or a job or career, this will definitely have this will give you a chance to kind of clean the slate, or clear the slate, and make sure that you are in your own best interests here. So I think I'm seeing someone who is having kind of a sense of, not an identity crisis, but a kind of a Libran kind of classic debate with themselves, like kind of making, like, in the sense of like a pros and cons list, and someone who's kind of working on, figuring out what's the next move that will suit them best. And really, I do see that you're transitioning here in the current present. You're transitioning from somewhere, and with a disappointment in the way you're kind of leaving the past, you're still headed onto something brighter here with the Wheel of Fortune. You're kind of letting fate decide where it will take you next, even though you're intellectually battling against that, because rationally you need to plan out your future, and it's kind of in your own control, but you're gonna have to let go a little bit of this. You don't have any emotional baggage as far as I'm seeing in this spread here. I feel like you're very pragmatic, in the sense that you are just putting all the cards out, another pun here, and laying all the cards out for yourself, and kind of focusing on which path to take next. And you're really physically planning it out, whether it's writing it down using a scheduler. You're trying to take very small steps in everyday details, and it's a kind of a mundane process. But with Libras, they are so good at balancing life in general, that they're very organized in that way with their thoughts. And with the Ace of Swords here being in the near future, a breakthrough, an idea, means that it says breakthroughs, new ideas, and success, sharp minds, and clarity. So obviously with the aces for any suit, it is basically someone who's kind of in the pioneering stage of everything. So they're just beginning it's a new cycle. It's something that they're taking on, and it's the inspiration that hits in the first card for every suit. So this with the upright in this card, it's a clear sign that it's encouraging you to embrace ideas and jump freely at the next opportunity with open arms. It says keep company with those that offer you inspiration and channel your energy into something that makes your heart happy. So whether this is moving on into a new role, new relationship possibly with someone that you've known from the past, maybe you're working, I'm seeing someone who possibly is getting into business with a friend or a former coworker. There might be some sort of partnership in the sense that Libras are very good at partnerships as well. They tend to gravitate towards them. They're not necessarily people who are like Aquarians who are more community based, but they can be, I mean, depending on your placements. And with the chaos and conflict card here, it isn't necessarily a detriment here. It's not bad for you, but it is telling you to be careful. And I'm going to read a little bit of the passage from Colette Baron Reid because she can say it better than I can. The protection message for chaos and conflict. This is an advantageous moment to restore order and recognize opportunity for negotiation. So Libras being in your element will definitely find that easy. Even in the seeming chaos, there is kind of divine order, a complete resorting of elements. If your highest intuition is to find the best solution for good of all, there is positive news. The timing is perfect. Things are already stirred up, so don't be afraid to jump in the mix. You'll discover everything you need to know about how the situation affects you long term. Be present in the eye of the chaos. This moment is valuable. Don't waste it. So this is an opportunity for you to analyze to the best of your ability. And with air signs here, with any air signs, they are automatically kind of sussing it out in every situation. They're kind of like, you know, in like these futuristic sci-fi movies, they're that person who can kind of analyze as a computer does in like a RoboCop kind of way. They're kind of just analyzing everything and scanning everyone's face and knowing exactly what they're thinking. So they're great at that, and I think this will come into your advantage. And with the owl here, there's also a sense of wisdom. The Hawaiian owl is dignity, omens, guidance, protection, wisdom, knowledge, inspiration, mysteriousness, silent sacredness. It's the ancestor showing up as a spirit animal. It's the owl makua in the Hawaiian sense. So I love this card because I grew up partially in Hawaii as well. So this owl, although I've never seen it in person, is kind of interesting to me in this way. And so with this spirit animal, I believe that you're communing with a sense of your family, and it doesn't have to be some sort of a grandparent or a parent figure or an authority in your family. It could just be someone who is wise beyond their years. So it could be even a niece or a nephew, someone who's influenced you to see the world in a new perspective. It could be someone who's young as well. So it could be a child in a sense where they're still very wise and they're teaching you kind of how to commune with your family and your ancestral spirit. This could be a sense of pride in being part of generational thing where, you know, there's multi-generations either speaking to each other or living together, that kind of thing. So this is a great sign that you're supposed to tap into intellectual power of analysis, but also don't forget where you're coming from. So don't forget where you came from, what you stand for, what your family has contributed to your life in getting you this far. So it's kind of being grateful for that. And then also with chaos and conflict, it is a chance for you to really take advantage of the situation and see through all of the mess around your lives. And I think someone who is in Libra, they tend to be very aware, just like the other air signs, of social injustices. And I think that whether you're part of a community, nonprofit, or you're in some sort of activism, you kind of are the leader in that sense, where you can take a situation and a group and kind of lead them in the right direction. Whether it's, you know, going to a march or, you know, activating and galvanizing a group to take some sort of action. This is a very good way for them to kind of find their opportunity. I'm seeing some of you possibly getting into political activism and finding a new job or a purpose in that, because the Wheel of Fortune is kind of putting this in your path, and you're kind of have to let go and let the fates decide what to do. So stay tuned for the messages of love next. And we might pull some Moonology oracle cards as well.
Okay, welcome Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius to your bonus reading with the guidance cards and oracle cards here. I'm going to read from the Messages of Love deck here and also the Moonology deck. But we'll start out with the Libra sign first, because I felt that I gave Libra a little bit of a shortchanged reading, and also Gemini. So maybe we'll pull extra 2 cards for you. And sorry about the audio with Libra. I think there's something wrong with the external mic I was using. I was plugging it into my earbuds, and I think it was a little bit off. There's this like staticky noise in the back, or kind of the cord kind of brushing up against the camera stand or tripod. So I'm sorry about that. So let's begin with Libra, and then we'll go to Gemini and Aquarius. So again, this is your little charm here. Let's move those over here. And we're just going to go for your messages of love card. So I'm going to actually shuffle on camera right now, because these are actual cards I can shuffle on camera. It seems to be a little easier when the cards are more flexible when we're used. With my newer decks, I find it's hard because, first of all, I have no upper body arm strength, or even in my hands. They're just kind of flimsy. I need to be working out a little bit more. All I'm doing right now is biking, which I'm doing very well on an indoor stationary bike, but with the summer coming around, I have to work on my arm strength. Okay, so that's Spirit Guides. Let's get a card, message of love for Libra, please. All right, so that fell out, and it's called Unavailable. This person is unable to give you all you deserve. So Libra, you might be breaking up with someone, or perhaps you were seeing someone and that has ended by itself, the relationship. And I seem to remember your spread saying something about being more balanced, but you are in the sense where you're able to see a lot of things like just analytically. So I think that you have stepped away yourself in the situation. Let's get a message from Moonology for you as well, Libra. So one card for Libra as well from Moonology. And we'll see if we need to pull more messages of love here. Okay, so surrender to the divine full moon here. So there's a sense where you're manifesting, I believe, your own sense of self-centeredness, but like you're centering yourself not in terms of a selfish way. I feel like you know logically what you want. So with surrender to the divine, according to the guidebook, it is, I'm getting the answers I need. And this can also apply for Aquarius as well, because Aquarius did get the moon card, and the full moon calls for you to forgive someone in release of energy and negative energy, and let go of the past and move on. So with this, I think Libra, for you specifically, the message here combined with messages of love is to let go of the person that you have either hurt or been hurt by the past, in the past. So there perhaps was a fallout with a situation, whether it be partner romantically or platonically, that happened a while ago, and you are kind of still holding on to that, or it may have been because the new moon was in Pisces, and that had made you kind of incur that wound again, and it may have opened up some old past wounds that you need to kind of let go of at this time. So let's get another message of love card for you. I just feel like unavailable is not kind of sufficient at this time. So let's get a little deeper inside here. Let's get another message for Libra. Someone in this connection is gripped by obsessive thoughts. So Libra, it looks like you have probably torn away from someone who was possibly still obsessing over you, or maybe you're obsessed with the fact that you had this relationship and it somehow dissipated and ended in the recent past. So one more card for Libra. It seems kind of contradictory that you have unavailable and obsession. So I'm wondering whether that is you or your partner or the person you're dealing with. Because you had a lot of swords in your spread, and you had Ace of Swords as well. So I'm thinking that, you know, your Page of Cups situation was a rather interesting pull as well. So boundaries, firm boundaries are needed right now. So it's definitely someone you're trying to psychically detach from at this time, and possibly it's dragging you down emotionally. So you're trying to shut off your emotions to this person and making yourself unavailable to them, so they can detach from you and no longer be kind of haunting you in that way of psychically, you're kind of absorbing their energy still. And someone is obsessed in either reaching you, communicating with you, or still reaching out to you. So possibly an ex that was reaching out to you, or someone you knew in the past that you couldn't really give your 10 of Cups to. I'm seeing someone who couldn't really project feelings. Maybe it was a one-sided relationship where someone really kind of chased after you and you were not ready for that. Boundaries are needed right now. So this in a sense, you're kind of intellectually detaching and using that to your advantage, and not, you're definitely using your intuition to guide you at this time. And you're thinking that, it's time to let go of that. And I think this will help you. The full moon here, surrender to the divine. If you're meditating on this, you're definitely going to find a way to let this go. I also had a shorter reading in the beginning, so let's take Gemini's reading and make that a longer one. So what is your message of love for Gemini? One card for Gemini, please. First card. Okay, it says, warning, don't dismiss the red flags here. So this also could be pointing to something. I believe you had the elk in your spirit divine card and yang card, and it seemed like you were having the magician and the star in your midst. So you had two major arcana cards, and I know that you are tapping into your intuition at this time. And you, along with Libra, are also detaching from something psychically. So let's get another card for Gemini, please. Passion, try something that you have never done before. So it might be trying out a new hobby or an interest that you're creating something. And then one more for Gemini, please. Acceptance. It says everything happens for a reason. So you're obviously coming to terms with something at this time. So with passion, warning, and acceptance, I think you're directing yourself into a new path where you're going to be creatively fulfilled. And with the magician and the star in your spread, it was definitely something you have been hoping to have a new start with. And it could be project related or some sort of job related activity that you've perhaps decided to do, a side hustle or something to reap better profit, but also have something that you enjoy doing. And you're accepting kind of the warning signs of possibly overworking yourself in your regular 9-to-5 job, or possibly leaving a position to pursue your own passions here. So great message for Gemini. Let's pull a Moonology card here for Gemini, please. One Moonology card for Gemini, please. So it says, Cardinal Moon, be bold and make the first move. So definitely there is a sense of you got to make the first move to get where you want to go. And with Gemini being this also a duality, this points to the card that you had for Wisdom of Oracle. It was to make the balance out the brighter side of your nature and be bold. And it was calling for you. I don't know if you remember, it was this one. It was Yang. So with the Yang card, it just means that you have to embolden your spirit and make the move more clearly recognizable. So you do want to take bold steps in making your life what you want it to be. And with warning, it does point to someone. I also see someone who's taken too much on in their personal relationships, and that has suffered in taking away from their own interests and desires at this time. Okay, and then let's take one more advice spread for, lastly but not the least, we have Aquarius here. So Aquarius, we're gonna do yours now. I'm gonna start out with 3 messages of love for Aquarius. So let's get one message, or first message for Aquarius. Spirit guides, please. Okay. We have regret. Someone feels remorse for the way they treated you. Okay, so there might be some sort of conflict, again, that you're tearing away from. And you're just letting go of these past hurts at this time. I think with the new moon in Pisces in the last few weeks, it was definitely something that you had to kind of reconcile from. So put away the computer is your second card. I think this is pretty funny. Working less will help strengthen your relationship. So perhaps some of you Aquarians are a little bit too much in your social media outlets right now, or working a lot harder than you need to, and just being too busy connected electronically. So you need to pull the plug on some things and draw back on, communing more with nature and going into, taking a walk outside, going into nature and taking a walk and appreciating that. And I believe you guys had the elk as your spirit animal guide and community as well. So you do need to step outside and go into the community and turn off that computer. One more card for Aquarius. It says soulmate. Your soulmate accepts and respects you unconditionally. So if you're in a relationship right now, Aquarius, you definitely are, good with that right now. And if you're looking for someone, there could be an indication that your soulmate is out in the community, and possibly a new soulmate is coming at this time. And then the Moonology card for... I just want to mention that this came out at the bottom of the deck twice when I was shuffling. So someone may have some sort of connection physically to someone at this time. It says the connection is passionate but not enduring. So you may have some air signs getting into a one-night stand, and it's not necessarily a long-lasting relationship, but there could be some fun having, getting out there and mingling with others at this time. So it says, it's a strictly sexual or physical relationship, but it might be just not a very powerful connection, or not a very deep soul connection right now. And if you're currently partnered with someone, it might just mean that you're physically more able to be close to each other and express love, express your physical emotions towards each other. It might just be very heated at this time. With a lot of Aries influences, I think that a lot of air signs are just being more passionate, and they're more physically demonstrative, and they're displaying more affection towards people that they love. Okay, so a bunch of Moonology cards flew out. Let's do one for Aquarius, please. So full moon in Leo is what you got. Don't let pride get in the way. So I think I sense this in with regret, and don't get pride in the way is possibly something has to happen for someone to apologize. And whether it's you or your partner or another person in the past that has hurt you, there seems to be some sort of regret surrounding that, and you need to come to terms and reconcile with that past. So this is not necessarily, again, it's not necessarily something that has hurt you too much, because with the soulmate card here, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of conflict here. Okay. Unlike Libra, you didn't have that card where it says chaos and conflict. So I think in the sense you are not letting your pride get in the way of communing with others and or your soulmate. So I think this is something, pride regretting, someone feels remorse for the way they treated you, is someone is trying to apologize for you right now. So maybe in the next few weeks, you might be opening up your lines of communication and talking to others. And in that, you'll find someone wanting to kind of apologize to you. So some of you may have an apology coming your way. And in a sense, you're also letting go of some sort of regret that possibly involved pride in your past, and it was a prideful mistake, and you're letting go of that as well. So I hope this helps, and like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.